Welcome to Agronomy Moment. I'm your host, Wendell Cohen. We bring in people who agree with me, disagree with me, and above all, are not afraid to say it like it is. Okay, the microphones are live. Welcome everybody back to Agronomy Moment. I'm joined here again by Celena, and she's here with me in the field. We've been looking at some fields and looking at different things. Not everything's positive this year where you've gotten a lot of rain, and there's even areas, I hear Celena right, that parts of Missouri that are really dry, too dry.
Yeah, actually it's kind of the opposite of what we anticipate. The northwest Missouri area, there's parts of that, parts of Missouri up there that are really dry, and then parts of southwest Missouri is just an absolute swamp. So usually, sometimes it's the other way around, but this year we've got a swamp down in southwest and a little dry up in northwest. So I think probably about this time after this week, everybody could probably use a little bit of rain. After we're probably looking at some corn that just got planted. We're looking at some things that got replanted, and we're looking at beans that are just going in the ground for the first time as well, and some potential replant there too. So a little bit of rain on that would go a long ways.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks for that update. Talk about corn just a little bit. One of the things I've been inspired with recently is making sure we're focused on our keeping our crop healthy. So talk to us a little bit about corn and what do we need to be doing this time of year to promote plant health?
Yeah, so one of the main things I like to think about, and we kind of capped this the last time on the podcast, was eliminating weed competition. We don't want weeds there fighting for the same nutrients and water that the corn needs. So that would be one of the things I would be thinking of top of mind. If you haven't got that post-herbicide pass, be thinking about getting that done. And then also from a nutrition standpoint, to your point on the healthy plants, making sure that we're managing our nitrogen, managing our sulfur, especially this time of year, to set up that plant to be able to combat Mother Nature a lot better whenever it has the right amount of nutrients, ample amount of nutrients. That plant is way more apt to be able to combat what Mother Nature is throwing its way, whether that's disease, whether that's abnormal weather, what have you. Whenever we have ample amount of nutrients there, sufficient amount of nutrients, the corn plant will do a better job combating some of those stressors.
That's awesome. I really like that point. And if you go back to a video we had earlier this spring, we talked more in depth about the appropriate amount of nitrogen under a budget conditions.
Sure.
But right now today, exactly what you're saying. Just wanted that brief, real update here. Walk your fields, make sure that they're coming out of that ugly duckling syndrome and that it looks like they're going to grab that nutrition.
Yeah, in particular, also just a note on that is we always think high points of nitrogen and sulfur. This field that we're standing in, there's corn ranging, what do we got? V3, V4 corn here.
Yes.
Approximately 1, 2, 3, 4, about V4 corn. This would be the time if you were thinking about a foliar nutrition component like manganese would be something to maybe consider if that's something that would fit your operation economically.
Very good. Celena, thanks for this update. Call us if you have any questions. V4 time frame, like Celena said, is a really good time to make sure we're setting up for that ear sizing that's going to take place at V5 and on. So. Soybeans, real quick. Let's talk about that a little bit. Same situation, really. We've got beans that have been planted for, probably April. We've got beans that are being planted today. Beans will probably be planted in June.
Yeah, sure.
So what's some things, kind of a general term on early beans first? Let's talk about that. They may have been in the ground up nice little stand. Mm-hmm. What do we do there?
Again, kind of the same message there as on corn. Make sure we're eliminating weed competition. Make sure we're getting those timely sprays. If you've been in an area that you've got your residual on, whether that's a pre situation, I would say that if you've got ample amount of moisture, you're probably looking at a residual that's breaking, and we've got some weeds poking through. So that would be one thing that would be top of mind, is making timely post-herbicide passes before those weeds start to get really out of hand. Really, this week we've had pretty suitable conditions for sunshine, not many clouds, for a Liberty application to work.
Oh yes.
So that's one thing that I've been thinking about is just timely post herbicide passes.
We should eventually we'll make a video or a podcast on making those Liberty applications. We do have one in the archives from last year, I believe.
Yeah.
But appropriately applying Liberty is one of the keys, one of the benchmarks to make it the most successful possible, to eliminate those fails that we all experience with that.
Yep.
Stand count real quick. Let's say we're walking our fields and we're like, ooh, I lost some seed. They're not all coming up. Like what populations this time of year are we okay with accepting down to? Because usually that's what we're worried about, is too little.
So we're in a situation where we're at emergence and we've got our final stand.
Yes.
Really, I mean, if we've got an even stand of 90 to 100,000, I think that is suitable. Obviously, whenever we're planting this time of year, we're up in our populations from when we usually would be planting earlier in the season. But if we've got an even stand, obviously, if we've got some pockets or some spots that are really big holes, those are situations where we probably need to think about putting some more beans in.
Yeah, and that'd be somewhere around that 40-50,000.
Yeah.
It seems like in past history, right? Am I correct that it seemed like you get down there about, I don't know, somewhere there below 50,000, the weed control gets to be a really hard thing to control.
Yeah, indeed, it does. Yep. So if we're around that mark, we probably need to be putting some more beans in the ground and keeping conditions in mind as well. I understand it's the middle of May, but if you're in a situation where it's a little too wet, or maybe you're in a situation where it's the exact opposite and you don't have moisture, maybe holding off in both cases, just to see what Mother Nature hands us next few days.
Sounds good. Thank you, everybody. Be safe out there, and we'll see you on the next one.
So, what? I thought it turned out well.
Yeah, I thought it was fun.
If you were Scott Dickey now, you would say something like, "It's about time for lunch."
Guys,
what else?
starving.
You're starving?
Yes.
What would he call it, Sam? What does he say? Grub or something? He calls it something else. He doesn't say, "Let's go for lunch." He says, I don't know, ready for something. Call me.
Scott, I don't.
You don't know what's going on. But I wish he was here. We could have made a really nice roundtable discussion. And
Hey, I got selected.
Field of Arms of the Year.
No.
It's your turn again.
For wave 1 of the whiskey.
It's almost bean time.
So
We got splinters in the hand. It's almost bean time.
lunch, yes.
Scott always brings up.
Well, it's 11:30. It's 12 almost.
Cameras.
No, it's not. Oh God.
Don't be talking about it. Kind of get that kind of little move where they're like I was shutting it off, and I just kind of.
You gotta get that splinter dissected out.